With reference to the disorders of Tuesday night in the Summerhill area, I can report this morning that all activity seems to be back to normal. Yesterday afternoon, 10 arrests were made in the area where several individuals again attempted to inflame the residents that live in that particular neighborhood. People that live and reside there are in good faith that they do not condone what happened there on Tuesday night, and that they merely want to go about their business of providing a better livelihood, accepting the opportunities that the city of Atlanta offers for better jobs and equal employment, and that they want to go about their business and their home lives in normal manner. In the Atlanta Police Department, the Atlanta Fire Department, those remaining on the jobs, and especially the very solid Negro leadership of the city of Atlanta for the expert handling and support that they gave their city government in the handling of this situation. Again, I have toured the area carefully. I find it calm and peaceful, and I believe that the citizens of this area will conduct themselves in admirable fashion unless some outsider moves in and tries to promote an artificial incident.
What's your order?
Mr. Carmichael will be afforded the full protection of the law as long as he obeys.
Action of the citizens in Vine City last night in burning down the...
Well, we don't condone that any more than we condone other activity, and although this may be the emotional response of the people in Vine City who have all through this summer been developing a very strong community of interest there and a real neighborhood spirit, naturally the city is not going to provide an opportunity for law-abiding citizens to start taking laws in their hands to that extent. We don't condone it. I haven't yet received a full report on it. I'm not sure what all the circumstances were. But again, we don't move to the left or the right. We stand on the sound middle ground that law and order will be preserved regardless which side it's for or against.
Mayor Miller?
Yes, sir.
Vice Mayor Michelle.
Time, it is normal, and that is the way I hope and expect it to continue.
Mr. Mayor, could we go back to the
I've seen slums in Atlanta in the past, most of which have been cleaned out, and I've seen them in other cities. I would have called Capitol Avenue in that particular area substandard. As a result, in that area, as well as a number of others that are of that nature through the city, all during this long summer, we have stepped up services. There has been more code enforcement as we've tried to move people out of these houses with their cooperation and get them better housed. Efforts made to rehabilitate properties, efforts made to see that the streets are kept consistently clean and swept. We have, in some instances, doubled the normal sanitary services. Obviously, police protection has been stepped up where there were conditions that might create an incident of this type. As you know, in and around, on the periphery, and almost all over it are areas of either old or new playgrounds. This was their school grounds that are well kept, and there have been stepped up activities on the periphery or either inside of this area for additional recreational facilities. We have afforded major playground areas for children in and around there, or parks and recreational programs. I don't think that it was the lack of any one additional facility that created this situation the other day. I think it was thoroughly artificially provoked, brought into focus by a known law enforcement process that was necessary at that time. You try to avoid this in every way, but when a man has a long criminal record and he refuses to obey the orders of the police, and he precipitates an incident like happened there, it's hard to conceive how you're going to enforce laws unless you have reasonable respect. And I think this incident was probably artificially stimulated from that incident of the wounding of this young Negro man, and then it went on by artificial magnification on the part of the sound truck and built up from there on a hot afternoon. Right now, I'd like very much to have about 3 days of good cold rain. It'd probably get everything in better shape.
Mayor, do you feel that the strong action taken?
An investigation to determine if the shooting of this suspect was justified.
I don't know what the chief's plans are on that. I don't think there's any question but what the law enforcement officer was carrying out reasonable responsibilities and acted in the proper manner in this instance, and I could not answer your question.
Mayor, you mentioned the program to...
I have no comment on it. I'd stand on the statement of the summit leadership. I have complete confidence in them. The city has to assume the responsibility of finding them housing, of getting them educated, of raising their level. We do this. Thousands and thousands of people. The problems of the whole Southeast have moved into many of the urban centers. And we have accepted this as our responsibility. We're making great headway. We couldn't have made the headway had we not had vast, sound, big programs from the federal government that have supplemented the limited funds and have given us some way to meet them. And we've done this, and yet we still have these isolated areas of people who not sure of where they stand and with some dissatisfaction can be led like they were the other night. I didn't mean to make a speech, but you... I don't know that there's been any full circumstances. I would say that I have complete confidence that the police force, as indicated by their actions there the other night, acts with every known restraint to try to prevent anything from being provoked. I'm sure that this officer was justified in the action he took. We must recognize that he was dealing with a criminal of long standing with a terrible criminal record, a well-known criminal. And whatever the circumstances were, I do not have before me at this time. This is an important matter, but there have been other matters of more importance, and I think that condition